Give it 1 second, and we're live. Just one more. Yep, there we go. We're live. Remember to put it in 180p. All right, and okay, that's it. Let's get into it. So it's still during the Christmas week, so we really not gonna see a lot of movements, lot of structural movements that the banks move this year in the retail zone, but nonetheless, we're going to get in anyways. All right, let me pull up my FTMO terminal here so that I have something's going on. So far, it's not looking well, but I think we can bounce back. I think I was a little bit too aggressive in my approach and risk management, so I gotta slow down on that part. That's pretty much what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna slow down. Right. Other than that, let's just keep doing the live session here. Now I know it's messy, but I know it's a little bit messy, but that's I need to keep I need to keep that on for the rest of the week as I'm going to work towards back testing and essentially, trying to get everything to match up how my previous back test is different from the back test that I have. So that's just one thing that I want to point out. So daily time frame, see if we have any major points. Not that I can see it obvious to me. Nothing too obvious here. This one is obvious. No, this one, my bad. It's just a zone. And so this is where I stop back testing. So we still have a lot to go. I'm gonna try to back test, not streaming today. I'm trying to just back test on my own time, and then kind of like finishing up the session with the last two back tests on the stream. And tomorrow we're just gonna continue back test again with our back test and review tab number 2. So live, and then this is where we're going to base our material off. Back test and review. This is where we're going to do the initial back test and review, and this is back test 2. Like we're going to do another back test. It's just kind of compare how um, these the last the live data and then the backtest and review. Essentially, you'll see how our markups and how our trades matches up and kind of combine those together. Yeah, let's go to the candlesticks chart and let's do this. And previous daily high and low markup. This is a daily order block. I'm not gonna mark that up because it's a little bit too far there, and I know that there's gonna be a 4 hour there anyways. And now we are kind of seeing prices rallying up to the upside, pushing all the way up, and it is currently in this resistance zone of a 4 hour. I'm gonna mark this up. Go. And downside, let's go to 3 hours, see a better order block. There we go. We have a 3 hour here. That is a little bit better. So I'm gonna mark this down. Now sometimes all these lines can confuse people, and it confused me sometimes. But to me, it's fine. I just feel so used to, used to marking up a lot on the charts anyways, so I don't mind. 3 hours, 4 hour. Either way, it's inside of the zone itself, so just be cautious. When it has been touched before, so now it's kind of rallying up and touched the second time. Still maintaining this low here, broke through the previous high, so I would expect it. This is also a dynamic trend line too on the major time frame. Let's draw it from this one actually. So we kind of break through the previous dynamic trend line and then broke through the previous high, which is the big sign that I want to see. And yeah, from that point, we just gonna look for retracement, and we have a 1 hour OB on the way. So let's just mark that up, even though it has not been formed yet. Marking this up just basically indicates that it's there, right? So when it's formed, you don't need to mark it again. Of course, sometime it can may retrace down, but at this level of price action, I don't think it's gonna poke through. And even if it comes all the way down, we know that this is a area we just marked up before. That's fine. So now let's go ahead and mark our trend line up. Now trend lines are really dynamic. It's not really something that need to be set in concrete. It's not something that you should be like ravaging yourself around, something you just need to be have some dynamic in between. Um, but yeah, you can just set it from even the wick down to the low, which is fine, or you can set it like that. It should be fine because the line chart or candlestick body that applies as well. But it's just a dynamic trend line, I should say, dynamic trend line, something you can base off essentially. So sometimes if on the lower time frame I can line all the wicks up and I can basically do that, like try your best to just line them up, honestly. um it doesn't need to be exactly perfect, but if it's line up pretty well, then I would accept that. So you can see here this was up through the trend line and broke through the previous high, which is even a stronger break. Let's go down. 15 minutes. Just gonna mark it there real quick. 30. Kind of in the same zone too. So I'm just gonna mark the 30 minutes here. Let's see if there's any major levels that I can see right off the bat. This one here looks pretty good. Right, 905 it is. What else? This one here, a little bit higher. Just a little bit higher. This means I'm gonna need to go to 1 hour in order to make this a little bit more significant. Let's go to 1 hour now. See anything else here? Seems like this one here, a little bit of a gap, but I don't mind. It's around the same area anyways, so I'm going to delete one of those smaller ones if I can see a sign that I can disregard it. I always like just setting it in the round number, just because round numbers indicate, psychological price. Doesn't necessarily indicate a whole bunch, but yeah. 30 minutes. Let's go down. 15. Now, because this is the last week of the last week of the year, most banks are not going to trade too aggressively. They're just gonna see what see fits, and then it's just gonna place a position in. Most banks are not gonna be aggressive in terms of placing a better investment. They're gonna start in the new year. Most of them. Um, Hedge funds the same way. So essentially, what you're seeing here is normal participation of banks, right? But they are participating in the normal level. They don't aggressively look for net investment at the end of the year, and they are actively trying to get out or just try and look for a good price to just enter in. But yeah, that's a reason why people don't trade at the end of the year. There's a reason why they don't trade at the beginning of the year, or reason why they don't trade outside of the session in general, because lower liquidity and the spread would be higher, as well as it's not certain whether price is going to move the way it does. Now, if there are better, more participants of the market that diverse the market and deepens the liquidity, that's why EU fuck, I can't say it. EURUSD, that's why the pair has such what oh, this is trend line. That's why the pair has such low spread, because there are a lot more participant on that market. But that's also why, that's just also why, market doesn't have a set strategy, and that's why the market is not technical enough. That's why I switched to GBPUSD, because it's a more of a technical pair, and I like technical pairs. Um, I don't usually trade fundamentals. I use fundamental for to avoid um, big news, of course. So I don't need to participate in news. I don't want them to. Um, I don't want to participate in news. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. Let's keep going. So now you can see here that price on the 5 minute time frame has left us with a pretty good negative structure. So let me go ahead and draw Fibonacci from this low. You're gonna see all the way up, kind of there. I would say kind of over there. 0.5 need to break through the 1 hour, so I'm gonna use this one. So now we just have the zone in the middle now. There we go. 0.5 is here and 79 down here. And there we go. So traders are really subjective. You can trade the way that you feel comfortable. It doesn't necessarily have to be other people' strategy. Of course, everyone trades differently. If you have the exact same system, it means that you are. I mean, if you have the exact same system and you're comfortable trading it on by yourself, then that's fine. But if you have the exact same system and you are feeling uncertain, and then you're feeling not good, to trade the exact same system, the exact same setup, and exact same algorithm, and you don't feel comfortable, it means you need to tweak it a little and try to experience your live trade and backtest more, so that you will trade the way that you feel comfortable. And right now, I basically have found a good a good setting for me, a good way of trading for me, and I have established a good way of looking at the market, and I just need to work on my risk management, my rewards management. So the risks are going to be substantially less than the wins, and the wins also always need to be 1 or 3. The loss always needs to be 1 R. So that's just one thing I need to work on. And over here, you can see all this. If this is a profit of 1 or 3, which this hit 1 or 3, right? This trade itself reached 1 or 3, but I took off early. This one poked through, and it's essentially broke through the stop loss, and give me a worse risk. That's all. So this one here poke a little bit through. This one here reach a little bit more than 1 or 3. This one, if these three are 500, then this should be covered, and I should be up around 500. My bad. all these are 500 or around 500, I would say. Then this would be covered, and I should to be just pure profit, right? And this one, I don't know what this one is, but I essentially just take a trade and then just forget about it. This should not be here, right? And then this one over here, the loss, this shouldn't have go over 787. It should go a little bit lower, around 500, 550 of a loss. And this one here, a win once again. So this should be able to cover this, right? This one shouldn't be here, so I don't want to count that, right? So these two, one of these 500, these one and three, it needs to be one to three, right? If it needs to be a good setup, then it should be covering it. This one here as well, I don't know why I hold it. Is my weak mentality. So this one should be 500. This one should be 500. This one should be a 1050. This one should be 500 and 500. So nonetheless, this one should be able to cover these three losses, right? These three losses if the numbers are staying the same. This one should be able to cover, no, this one if it's one or three, it should be able to cover this one, and we are going to up in green anyways. So essentially, if I learn how to control my risk as well as controlling or managing my reward, these statistics, the numbers are going to add up, right? Even if I lose. So essentially, I need to work on that part. I'm getting into a middle ground and a concrete. I'm starting to, pour down the ingredients so that the concrete are getting drying faster. So I could stand on it even better and more confident standing on my trading strategy and my trading perspective. But at the same time, I need to build around the concrete. I need to build around my grounds. I need to build up the fence. I need to build a door, just something around so that it is my territory. And right now, the risk management is not there for me to, to maintain the ground that I'm standing on. And day by day is being corroded away. So I need to build some kind of defense mechanism, in which case it is risk and reward management, and that's something I need to work on, especially something I will need to work on my mind mentally. So as soon as it hits, um, yeah, as soon as it hits 1R, and now I would say that there are spread as well. There are spread, and I need to take in consideration of the spread. I'll say around one, let's say around 10 points or 1 pip in spread. So if there is a trade, I'm going to expand a little. I'm going to expand it an extra 5 points so that it will account for it. So that when it reach up there, it will going to be around 500 or even just 550, maybe to up to 600. I'll say 550 or so, so that the risk is not outweighing the wins, and the wins, of course, is not going to be exactly at 1 to 3. The spread kind of hold it back a little bit, but I still gotta push through and follow the same number that it has. So yeah, pretty much it. GU has larger spread, around 1 pip or so on FTMO, but that's fine by me. I'll try to work through it and try to set my stop loss even a little bit bigger so that it will cover that up, and basically give room for the trade to go, essentially. Give room for the trade to go, and after 1 or 3, take it off. So I need to have more experience. I need to have more experience and just do live trades in general. I need to train on my psychology so that I take the loss that it's presented to me after breakthrough one zone. I'm going to take the rewards. I want to take the profit when it's presented to me. So yeah, I need to train more on that. But for now, let's get into the live session. Let's keep going here. And 3 minutes. See, we are residing in that previous daily high, and right now we're trying to have a little bit of retracement here. Price is hesitating to come back down. Not really a break because this is a high, this is a low, this is a high, this is a low. This is a slowly transitioning downside. It's not like a full boom, just like that. So let's see anything else in the middle. So I see wicks here. This would be a good strong level for price to come back down here. You see how this bounce off, this doji in the middle, this one bounce off of the level around 95 or so, or even 90. I would say this is a really psychological um, level. Let's see what goes first. Let's see if there's any order block here. No, so just 1 minute. Slowly but surely, it's not forming a head and shoulders, but that's fine. Touching this, it touched that. Continue down, break through this one. I'll wait for this just a little bit more. Cool. So yeah, right now we're just waiting for it. Three, five. Nothing much going on at the moment. Kind of see here how the trend is being respected pretty well. Yeah, you can kind of see how this trend line being broken here, this low being kind of broken through, but it's just continuation, pushing down, price coming up and kind of retrace where the interest zone might be. This interest zone right here at 1 minute. Always look for 1 minute because looking for a better stop loss, and that's in general, I guess. Yeah, that's like one of the adjustable trade. You can just one take one. So That's why recently I have incorporated the trend lines. So the trend line has been broken, and when price come back up and retrace around here, you can expect it to and basically expect it to respect the 1 minute OB interest zone. At most, it's gonna retrace a little bit up here, in which case there's still room for it to grow. The one that's come back up over here, essentially, you don't need to wait for a confirmation anymore because this is a confirmation before. The trend line break is the confirmation. Now, of course, when it's come back and retrace, however, right, if it's the other side and when price come back down and retrace, you don't need to wait. My bad. Oh shit. You don't need to wait for a clear transition just yet. And essentially, as soon as the candle close here, you can just enter the trade, or you can enter the trade later. Always wait for something to happen, which is should be fine. You can always wait for a better price. I would say a better price, so you can enter in after the candle has been confirmed, and you can always just set your stop loss below the previous high, which is fine by me. And you can see how this candle here come back up and retrace the 3 minute and did not come all the way up because it's not really the final destination. And even if it reaches the final destination, you need to wait for some kind of confirmation, before you can enter in the trade. So this is a good confirmation, black candle, and you're going to aim for 1 to 3, which is a little bit lower down here, bouncing off the trend line. But the line itself, so this one here should be one of the major zone that you need to look out for. But this one over here, that should be at 90. At 990 should be somewhere you need to be concerned about because it is at the 50% as well as the psychological price. So it's something to be concerned about. Even though the red line here, you're not gonna reach 1 to 3. So the projected trade needs to be around there. Essentially, needs to be around at that zone. So now you can see how price break through another smaller trend line. This one here did not really go all the way up into our interest zone, but that should be fine. And we can't just miss the trade just like that, but it should be just fine. You don't need to go all the way in. It matters that this trade here needs to be a 1 to 3 to this low, and the first take profit, you don't need to even use the Fibonacci. Using the Fibonacci and the minus 27 reaching all the way down is not gonna reach 1 to 3 anyways. So unless you're not gonna take a trade from up here and then ride the price down to 1 to 3, unless you're not gonna take it up here, then you shouldn't really take it after the price have been closed. And this candle here is not really a 1 to 3, essentially, because your stop loss is not gonna provide that risk reward ratio that it needs. I'll say around there should be fine. Just wait for the first candle to close anyways. But yeah, I need more back testing, but done on these kind of stuff to basically maintain that level. You see how it maintained the level well, and needs to be what signs need to be presented for me to enter in the trade. Okay. Let's see how price is climbing up from there. So the exact Hmm. No, the exact point is didn't really go all the way up to the full interest area, but I say I need more back tests. I need more focus area on these trendline breaks to see how it can, retrace and just continue through. That's what I think. I think it's still gonna need for wait for another confirmation where price come back up a trade anyways. But yeah, I mean the weather adaptation of my body has gotten better, but still, it is still the really bad weather. I don't really want to be within. So you can see how you need to wait for confirmation. How price really moves doesn't really care what you're gonna do. It doesn't really care what is it that you are trying to search for. So on the left here, 15 minutes, I'll always have it just because, something off the line. You can see how this immediately retracted back, and it's relatively in the middle, right? I would say it's relatively in the middle, and we are losing some buy side pressure, and sell side is trying to come in and try to fat it out. And so we need to concern. It's something to be concerned about. So that's the 3 minutes there. 5 minutes, 1 minute. See how it retraced past it, and now it's being disregarded. So wait for the candle to kind of close. If there is any formation here, I need to see this high being broken before we start to come in once again. Which the market says testing TP levels. You see how it comes back down, but now it broke through the previous 1 minute OB. So it give you a mix sign essentially, give you mixed signs whether or not to take the trade. Um, in which case we're not gonna take a trade anyways because now it has broken through the 1 minute, which is really not that important to be maintained anyways. But you still gotta see how price have already retraced off the 50%. So we may see price push up and maybe setting. It's just basically maybe setting another setup. Retracing back from this. Which case this is a mixed scenario. I'm not gonna take a trade and I'm gonna sit around, see how this high being reacted. One second. Hello? Good, how are you? Um, I kind of have a vehicle already, so thank you though. Alright, you too. Bruh. Not about insurance, it's about car. Okay. But at least they called me though. That's the way to keep in contact. If you don't say no, they're just gonna keep calling you. So, yeah. When they call back, just say no. That's pretty much it. So, you can kind of see why you want to wait for the first candle to close. And I'm still gonna need to test here. I'm gonna write down the reference point. Uh, area of focus. Cool. Right, so you see how it bounced off and it's maintaining this low. That's why I don't want to enter in the trade just yet because it may as well just be another setup. And we broke the trend on a wider swell, wider scale, honestly. So now we have another trend here. You see how it matches up really nice. Now I have incorporated the most basic thing in trading, which is trend lines. I see better, you know, and all the key levels is just basically support and resistance. Yeah, just support and resistance. It's just sometimes those zones doesn't get respected, so they have less power. But trend lines, they stay true over time. The trend is your friend, and yeah, it's just kind of fill in the gaps for my previous strategy and how I look at things, and kind of fine tweaking. And I would say the fine line would be Fibonacci and trend line. I think those two needs to be followed really nicely, and they follow and they get respected very well on GBPUSD. So you can see how the trend line being respected right now. Let's see how it's gonna maintain this respecting respectception. See how it's not gonna break through. If it breaks through this, then it's a transition. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're gonna look for. This one here needs to get more back test. I'm gonna back test on my own time today, a lot more. It's gonna look through the previous two sessions I have back tested before. Okay. Yeah, right now we're just gonna wait for this. I'm just looking at the back testing that I have before. See if it goes. Still maintaining that sell side pressure. Pretty good. And looks like it's respecting nicely. Nicely. And I can see how the trend can make good money too. In the future, definitely in the future, I'm gonna I'm gonna somehow gonna shake hands with somebody and collaborate and make a bot. When in trading, right? Essentially, you see how clean this is, right? GDPUSD, how clean this is, and how it can affect the trend. So after the trend has formed, 1, 2, and 3, and see how this breaks here. It's just that is a trade right there. So 1 to 3, ride the market down and see how the lower trend kind of plays out as well. So just take profit from there. It's just kind of like a robot drawing the trend line and just the algo drawing the trend line essentially. But the bot will be based around trend lines and the third bounce. The first two bounces are going to be, the formation of the trend. The third bounce is going to be the good maintain of the trend. If there is, other scenario matching up as well. But essentially, it's going to be based around the trend line, and it's going to be based around the bounce, the third bounce of the trend line, essentially. Looks like maintain pretty nice. Price respecting the trend and push down. That's good. Now we're not gonna look for a sell anymore because it has been, sold enough. We're gonna look for a buy as the price gonna look for a way to rally back up once again. It's in the discounted price of the macro bull trend. Um, so yeah, we're gonna look for a buy instead of a sell at the moment. Watch out for a sec. I'll be right back. Right, cool. I'm back. Cool. And yeah, so currently it's still trending downside. Trying to looking for sell entry, and it has left the sell entry zone. We already taken the 103 for the day to 50%, and price is respecting the trend pretty well. So nothing on that end, and it go past the expected zone where it has gone through 30 in the 1 hour order block here. So now we are clearly going into the downtrend, and we should look for a sale. Um, what is residing up here? I would also wait. Oh, we have a viewer. Cool. Hey, dude. How's it going? Never expect to have a viewer, but here we have. Did you just follow me like through YouTube where they recommend a one like nobody is viewing, and then there's just a recommendation coming in? So how do you find the stream? Because I don't expect it to, be recommended. I think it has slow mode on. That's why it can't reply that fast. Let me try to. I'm still new to this streaming thing, so let's me customize. Okay. Yeah. Um, give me a second. There we go. There we go. Well, I am new. I just starting this to do my own, logging experience since I just get started on trading and it's doing well. So I just want to, get the videos or the streaming on. So it's for my own archive. I never expect to have any viewers, but yeah, it's pretty fun having somebody on. Um, yeah, how do you find me? Like, it just through YouTube recommendation, or it's just like how do you even find this stream? It's like there's nobody viewing, so I'm pretty curious. Okay. Oh, cool. All right. But yeah, I've been doing this for almost a month. Just logging stream. There's nobody there, but it's just, acting like somebody's there. And it helps me, explaining the things that I need to explain. And it just helps me in general to archive. So the style of trading that I do, I trade like a full cluster of things. So I trade trend lines, I trade order blocks, I trade breakouts, just trade Fibonacci in general. But the majority of the time, like the structure, market structure wise, I trade price action. There's no indicator on the chart. You see a lot of drawings, but none of them are indicators. I don't believe in indicators, just because it's a secondary type of price action. You know, when we are scalping, when we are, trading in a session or 2 hours, that's considered scalping, and I'm scalping every day. We're not trading against the hedge funds. We're not trading against the smart money. We're actually trading against the machines. and how the bots works in the higher like investment bankings. They works in algorithms, and you see how the trend line works. You see how it bounce off like these, and how it's really cool. How it's like it just bounce off really uniform. And how like bounce. The first two bounces are the trend establishment. The third bounce is basically the bounce off, or if it can break through, then you need to wait for a sign. But here the trend line has been broken, so just like a triangle being condensed in, and then that's where I take the trade there. Um, so ICT, I would say ICT is the concept of ICT is really in depth. You know, there's a lot of archive in the way that he trades, all the way from futures, indexes, all the way down to forex. In the older days, he traded forex, but nowadays he trades indexes. I think he trades the mini futures, and just it overall he trades indexes now. He doesn't trade forex that much anymore. So his style of trading has evolved, and he trades the way like how the markets basically evolve. So you can see all the free courses on YouTube. I think he put it on there, and especially the course he put out recently this year. I found it interesting. I found it really helpful at the same time. But it's not something I would study, and it's not something I would incorporate 100% into my trading. You have to take at least two or three courses, different courses, completely different types of approach. They always have Fibonacci's, right? All the traders have Fibonacci's, and the same way goes, they have Fibonacci's. They wait for retracement past the 50% discounted price, or some say premium price, or whatever. They retrace past it. I use the Fibonacci the same way. So you can see here, I use the same levels: 0.62, 70.5, 0.79. Um, yeah, that's cool. Studying his concept is really hard. I would not suggest going deep dive into it. And just like any trading, I would suggest you to just go and backtest and just do your own live trading, and it takes a lot of time. I've been studying the markets for 2 years, and only recently I've been picking it up. And no set of style can fit in the live market condition. It's like how you go to the supermarket. It's the same thing, right? You can never know whether your item is on stock, whether something is coming in. You're not the manager. The store or the supermarket itself is the broker. Um, in the market itself. So essentially, if you go to the supermarket, you don't know what discount is going to be there. Nothing is going to be there. You are a consumer, just like a trader. So you go to a supermarket and you pick whatever it is, and whatever the sale is, like buy one get one free, that's a good sale. It's translated to the market the same way. So is when it below the 50%, that's like a 50% discount. It translates to real life in a way that is easier to understand. So it's like 50%. Why? Equilibrium, yeah, but 50% discount, that's a psychological number. So it works because everybody is doing it. And as retail traders, we don't have the capitals. We don't have the capital to push the market. So we have to understand these algorithms and trade the way that the market does. Where I'm from, I am from Vietnam, and recently I've moved to the U.S. 3 years ago, and I found forex trading 2 years ago. While in COVID, of course, I was trying to like, okay, so how do I make money, right? I cannot see all these buildings around me that has multi-million, multi-billions dollars companies, and recently people have been popping off Andrew Tate and such. The guy has a bunch of money. That's just one thing I taken away from him. Has a really good energy, and of course, from him I got exposed to you know the whole billion trillion dollars world. How do people have that much money? So trading is just one way because it relates to money. Other way, businesses, entrepreneurship. You can try to sell something and take money from other people's pockets. That's the way to make money essentially in the world. The easier way to make money is to advertise and market so that people would spend money and you essentially take money from them. So that's how people make a lot of money. It's just to take money from other people's pockets. And yeah, that's my story. And yeah, that's how I got into trading. I see that, from my opportunity and how the prop firms have been popping off, the prop firms are really, really good. Like essentially, before you have to wait to trade, and like an applicant, you need to apply in order to trade, and then you need to know how to trade, and then after that, you need to put your own capital in. So there's a lot of walls. Nowadays, you can just go on TradingView. Um, I would suggest investing in, a pro account so you can backtest and bar replay, so it's a lot more efficient. Um, so you can backtest more. But essentially, if you spend in the time, you don't need to spend any money. Just try to treat the demo account, treat the paper trading account the same way a live account would. And yeah, that's pretty much how it is. You just need to treat the demo account the same way as a live account, and you trade for a few years at most. Then you have the understanding while you studying, and your concept evolves, and that's how your trading would basically evolve as the with the person. You are the person trading. No strategy is the same. No one's trading the same way. So if you're studying a concept from this one person, don't expect to have 100% of their concepts, because that's the way that they trade. You may trade differently. The way that you interpret the market may be different. That's the way that I trade now. I trade all different types of strategies. I don't have a set amount or a set strategy or a set concept. Did you just start your YouTube channel? Yeah, I would say around over a month ago, around a month ago, when my trading started picking up, because before I don't have a set concept, and I'm not confident in my trading, um, and the risk reward management was a little bit bad, and my risk would essentially be more than 1%. Every single time it would be around 2% or so, and I slowly cut it down, and now I manage pretty nice. I still on the journey of managing the risk reward, um, but as long as you can manage your risk, every single loss should be around, for me anyway, for me is around 1%. If it's a little bit over because of the spread on GU, the spread is around 1 pip all the time, around 10 points. So sometimes it goes over 1R, which is fine. One risk, 1%, right? Which is fine, around 550 for a 50,000 account. Um, I'm talking from the 50,000 account that I have now. Um, when sometimes it goes over, then like 550 or something, that's fine. If it's go over 600, 700, that's basically off the rail, and you should basically need to look back to see what's wrong. I don't use stop losses. I use mental stop. As soon as it hits the level, or it's around the level I expect it to break, I would take my stop loss. And it works out for me because the spread doesn't really allow my position to be stopped at a set amount, right? It always stopped before, so that's why I use mental stop, because I'm scalping, and the stop loss wouldn't really work as well, so I use a mental stop. Um, but yeah, this YouTube channel is just for my own purpose, my own archive purposes. I don't really use it for broadcasting to the whole public. If you find it, then that's cool, right? You're probably the first viewer. Probably you are the first viewer here after a month. But I've been doing it consistently. I don't hope for a viewer. I don't hope for a huge platform. I'm just doing it because it's my archive. I can always look back, and even if I make it, even after I make it big, I can look back and okay, so this is my archive. You guys can study that and see all this live session I've made. It's like it's just like a book. So it's like a testament to my consistency, I would say. But I don't hope to have people come in and be in mass like a community. I expect it from my own archive. But yeah, that's roundabout. But essentially, yeah, yeah, it's my own archive. I don't really do anything outside of that. I don't expect people to find it, just because I don't put a lot of effort into thumbnail. I don't put a lot of effort into description. None of the outsource thing. I just write it up like live forex trading, New York session, or if I upload a video, I would say day something. kind of like keep track of it, like day 27, day 28. Um, but yeah, that's those kind of thing. But this is the last week of the year, so I don't really keep track of it. I would say this is like the outsource. This is kind of like the abstract stream. You stream live tech, live stream for the public to see you easier. You're right. Like I said, I'm new to this thing. I'm new to all of this. So I don't know a lot of things about streaming. So kind of take my there we go. Kind of take my word for it. But thank you for doing that. I'll do hashtag live stream here on the tag. There we go. Okay, I add a few. Cool. Thank you. But the hope is not for people to find it. It's just for my own archive. If someone found it, and basically, I feel a little bit happier that somebody found it, like you did. So someone to for me to talk to, I guess, some actual person for me to talk to instead of just me speaking to my own screen and nobody's there. I don't feel lonely just because I've been doing this for quite some time. I've been talking to myself, a lot of times to screen to recording the same way. So I'm still new to this. Okay, I'm still new to this. So um, my speaking is not gonna be that as good because I'm not used to speaking with people. Um, yeah. So pardon me for that part. And let's go back to the charts here. Now it's 11. My session usually lasts from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Since it's the last week of the year, I would be a little bit more laid back. I've done a little few session on backtesting, and maybe you can tune in later on. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a round backtest and then fine tuning my strategy, fine tuning the way that I perceive the market. But yeah, this is the current session. We don't have a lot going on today, just like any other day. But yeah, we have some trend here and there. And as scalpers, uh, that's right. Yeah, that's cool. I tag my video as education. I don't know if that is the right tag. There's no finance in there, but it could be in how to or it could be in education. Either one of those two, but I put it in education because forex or financial market is just education for purposes. It's not. It's kind of like a how to. So I'm split between education and how to tag, but I don't think it doesn't. I don't think it matters as much anyways. So I put it in education. But yeah, you're right. If it's out there, so like I say, I put in a little bit of effort. I say a little bit of effort to keep archive, a little bit more of effort to gather, hopefully get some people in. But I don't hope for a huge community. I don't hope for a huge amount of people to come in and say something and watch. Go ahead and analyze the one chart or analyze the other one, analyze this pair and that pair. I just want something of like a small group of people, so then it's easier to keep track of. Like just one of you. Um, when you are here, just one person, I can talk to you, right? I can talk back and forth. But then there are two, there are three, four, five-person, and then I have to keep track on those. And yeah, I'm still new to this, so you help me by finding me. You help me, explore a little bit more about the live streaming and how it feels to talk to another person instead of just to myself. So thank you on that part. So what's your story? Um, it's 11 now. My session lasts from 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's pretty much off the session now. I usually end the stream. Um, but let's just stay a little bit. Like, how did you get started in forex, and what's your journey so far? Because everybody's journey is different. Every life is different. Um, Life can throw curveballs at us. Sometimes we don't have time to do it. Some people have children. Some people have their own life and their own job to do. and jobs doesn't line up with the New York session. So how did you find forex, and what's your journey so far? What are you struggling with, and if there is anything I can help you with, I'm gladly will be able to help you, because I'm at that point where I'm comfortable trading and I'm comfortable talking about the way that I trade. Okay. Mm, all right. Do you have any struggle with that? How you see the market? Are you uncertain? Do you feel comfortable trading? You feel comfortable taking a position without doubting yourself? Do you still have to look back and kind of see, whether I should take that trade or should not take that trade, whether your loss was justified or not? Because I've been through the stumbles a little bit. Back test. Oh yeah. Okay. Do you live in what time zone are you currently living in? Because I live in Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I'll give you my Discord. 1 second. Cool. There we go. But yeah, what is your struggle? Right now I feel comfortable. Right now I feel comfortable trading, just pulling the trigger without thinking twice, or no, thinking three times. Of course, I think twice about it whether it should be good or not. But how is your trading going so far? And do you feel comfortable pulling the trigger without thinking a lot about it, and see if it's justified or not? See if the trade is justified, or you feel comfortable with losing or not. I just want to say, I just want to see how it goes, because I've been through that as well, so I can help you with that part of trading. Yeah, essentially backtesting. I only backtest on the session. I only backtest on New York session, New York London, from 9 a.m. Eastern time to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 2 hours trading session. I only backtest on those two. and after it's done, go all the way back and backtest one more time. So there are two tabs. You see how live, backtest, and review, and backtest two, and there we go. Cool. It's just wave. Yeah, I just accepted your friend request. Right. So yeah, how has it been? Like, it, is your trading at the moment good? Are you consistently making good returns even on demo? It should be translating, and how you're managing your risk. Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're male or female or any other gender. Um, it's just it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether or not you're male or female. As long as you have the same mindset, it doesn't. Our genders doesn't matter. It's just that our mindset aligns and our purpose align. It should work out. But yeah, it doesn't matter as much as you think it is. I don't really, I don't really see gender as some kind of barrier between the two. That shouldn't be the barrier either way. It shouldn't be one talking topic. Yeah, if you're interested in trading, then you basically align the mindset, and that's how everything aligns. So I don't see it as a barrier. Yeah, that's one thing to know. Cool. So how is it going? Not there yet. So I'm struggling with trades. FOMO. Okay. How long you been trading? Oh, you tell me before you're trading for a few. Um, back testing. Where is it? Been trading for as of this year. Only been doing real account for a few months. So I see you have the mutual server here on my Forex Fund. Um, yeah, I use my Forex Fund. The 50K is from my Forex Fund because it's the most affordable option, and I think their community is pretty good as well. FTMO is a little bit more premium, and I'm starting another trial on FTMO, but it's not really that great, because the community on FTMO is much harder to reach. And my Forex Fund, their support is right here on Discord, so I like Discord more. I like the my Forex Fund more. It's more affordable, and you can easily reach the staff. Still struggling with trade? Yeah, it's fine. I've been through that phase as well. For some people, it would take few years. For some, would take like less than a year. But I say the majority of people, even with a really clever mind, even when you're smart, which should take around a year and a half to 2 years if you are consistently, practicing, consistently doing it for every single day or just every other day. If you're consistently doing it, I would say around a year, a half, or 2 years because the market changes all the time. As soon as you form a set formula, the market will slowly shift to another one. That's why the way that I trade now doesn't matter. The way that I trade now doesn't matter where it's gonna how I'm gonna interpret the market, the same system, because the trend is always there, because the order blocks are always there, the Fibonacci's are always there. I'm trading the building blocks off the market. I'm trading the building blocks. I'm trading the fundamentals of the market and how the trend moves. So I'm not afraid of the system. I'm not afraid of the indicators. So if you give me so like if you give me some kind of chart with anything on it, I would be able to look at the chart and trade right there without any indicators or any thing else helping me. So that's another another kind of skill and power that less people have. The trading price action is a lot a lot harder than trading with indicators because you have nothing else on the chart except yourself and the price action and how the candlestick form. And that's basically all you need, essentially. It's all psychological. You just need to wait for confirmation like this here. This is back testing all the way back in Monday, November 21st. That's why I wait for a confirmation. That's why I trade that's why I wait for this. There are losses, of course. There are losses coming in. You cannot prevent the losses. The best trader in the world, they always lose, right? They lose, but they lose small. Their wins outweighs the loss. So the decision, of course, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Um, but the win rate or the overall profit should be able to outweigh the risk. So what I'm doing now is always taking 1 to 3 risk reward ratio. If I lose 3 times and one win, I can make up the break even. So that's why it's more profitable that way. And I always sit to 1 to 3. That's my default. I never take 1 to 2 or 1 to 2.5. It always needs to be 1 to 3. It needs to be at the reasonable level, a key level where I can take my trade or a reasonable stop loss like this trade right here. I will see this price come down and wait for confirmation. And after it closes there, I just enter in stop loss below and then ride the price to 1 to 3. This right here, 1 to 3. This one here, even if it's a loss, it's still 1 to 3, right? Approximately 1 to 3. And around there should be taking profit. But this is a loss. This one here as well, another mistake when I was back testing. And I still make a mistake. I'm still making, small tweaks here and there. But this is the double top right here. Price come back up and broke through the previous interest area or the order block. Come all the way back up to this 1 minute order block. Make a double top, and then basically give me a sign right here. One black candle after it closes. We enter right here with the spread plus in. Um, and then you'll stop loss 4 pips and then ride the market down. It's just indication. If you are waiting for a good confirmation, you don't need to second guess yourself. But yeah, that's I'm dragging this a little bit too much. But yeah, where are you from? Like, are you from Eastern? Are you living in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, or are you living in UK? I need to know your time frame, your time zone, so that I can communicate better. Um, if it's at night and I'm doing back testing, then you're not gonna hop on there, or just any of the sort. If you're in the same time frame, same time zone, then it should be fine. You're in different time zone where shifting back and forth. So where are you from? Like, what time frame are you living in currently? Okay, cool. So you're in the same time zone. That's great. It's 11:18 here as well. So you can see on the bottom right corner, it's 11:18 here as well. So you're living in Eastern Standard Time. So we're on the same time zone, which is matching up. So yeah, it's the Christmas week. I still have a job because recently I've translated into trading, but not yet a full-time trader because I work second shift. I work from 3 all the way to 11, and I still can have time to sleep and wake up the 2 hours on the morning so I can trade then. It works out really well because essentially the income that I make from trading doesn't interfere at all. Like I don't have any barrier stopping. So why should I stop work now if I don't have the full funding just yet? So you found me in the early stages right now. I'm still setting my goals. I'm still building my account up until I get the full funding stage, which I think is around 300K, 400K for my forex fund. Um, then I can just translate and then cut off the job that I currently have. But it works out well. And right now I only have a 15, no, sorry, a 50K account from my Forex fund. So it makes good money, but I don't want to cut my job off just yet. I still want to, build a substantial amount before I can cut it off. Um, and I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable at the moment. It's just going really good. It's going pretty fine. So yeah, in the next few months, probably I'm gonna have more capital. In the next 6 months or so, I should be able to have a full funding um, from my forex fund. So then I can cut off my job. But yeah, it doesn't interfere, so that's really cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna end the stream now. We have contact on Discord, so you can just message me on anytime. I'm home at the this week is my week off. This is the last week of what is it? The last week of the year. So the company closure, they closed the company down. So I got the week off for PTO. So I should be here during the week. So if you have any question, just message me on Discord, and I should be able to get back to you. But I'm gonna end the stream here. Is 11:21. Is past due. Is past the normal stream length. So I'm gonna end the stream. And yeah, if you have any struggle with, you have any chart, if you're currently backtesting, just send a picture or any question at all. Just send it on Discord, and I can see so you can practice more on that. All right. I'll end the stream, and I'll see you sometime in the future, I guess. All right. See ya.